Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Gamecock Central Radio. Emerson Phillips with Gamecock great Joe Rhett. The Gamecocks a winner over Georgia on Saturday. South Carolina remains ranked number 19 in the Associated Press poll, the new poll that's out today. And the Gamecocks alone in first place in the SEC with a 9-1 conference record. Carolina 19-4 overall. Joe, a 2-point win over Georgia on Saturday, and some struggles at the foul line kept Georgia in the game late, but I thought it was nice that Justin Mackey iced the win for Carolina on a day that the 1997 South Carolina SEC championship team was honored. And, of course, Justin's father, BJ, the star of that 97 team, and a great chance for Gamecock fans on Saturday to relive some fond memories. And then the Gamecocks beat Georgia as well to hold on to first place in the conference.
Yeah, ironically, it was 20 years ago when they won the SEC in 1997. Coming to my senior year, we started, going into the SEC, and it took a while, coming to a new conference and to see that 97 team do what they did with BJ, Melvin Watson, and Larry Davis, that three-headed monster guard. They were really, really good back then, and give it up to Coach Fogel. He had a great team. He had a great plan for that little run that they had. It was really good. And I hate that they lost in the first round those 2 years, but that was a really special team. And for them to do first in 1997, win the regular season SEC championship was real awesome for the university.
Gamecocks went 15-1 back in 97 in the SEC and won the regular season championship, but like Joe said, got beat in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And to me, Joe, that's one of the great travesties of our lifetime is how that B.J. Mackey, Melvin Watson, Larry Davis, Ryan Stack team never won a game in the NCAA tournament. Now, 20 years later, Joe, it's been 40 years since the Gamecock men won a game in the NCAA tournament. We're hoping that'll turn around this year.
I hope so, and I think we will. As you see this team so far this year, we win in all kind of ways. On Saturday, I think our offense was okay. You had PJ playing well offensively. Shender's doing his thing, and also Dwayne Otis has been coming on playing, shooting the ball pretty well lately. But this may have been one of our worst defensive games, so they gave up a lot of shots. The defense just wasn't clicking on them, and that's one thing that I'm surprised about, because when at the end of the day, our defense is always going to be our staple, and somehow it wasn't communicating as well, and they just wasn't rotating and not getting out to the open shots. But a lot of that had to do with the big kid inside, and that was the Yonton Mateen. He gave those guys fits inside. Gave Chris Silver and Coach saw problems, and they remained in foul trouble that night. But this is a good team, and hopefully they can continue to win in all kinds of ways. You've seen them win blowouts, win on the road, won some games, and this is just a true testament of how good this team and how special this team can be, winning in all kinds of ways. And I look forward to this coming week against Alabama and also Mississippi State.
All right, more on those games in just a moment. The Gamecocks beat Georgia 77-75 on Saturday at the Colonial Life Arena. Sellout crowd for the ball game, and the 97 championship team was honored at halftime. So the Gamecocks remain number 19 in the AP poll at 19-4 overall, 9-1 in the conference. And this was a tight ball game with Georgia on Saturday, Joe. 18 lead changes in the ball game. Carolina with 3-pointers on 5 of its first 7 field goals Saturday. In fact, Sendarius Thornwell hit 3 threes in a 90-second span early in the ball game, but Georgia had a small lead at halftime, and then the Gamecocks would get it going in the second half. And Joe, 68 of the Gamecocks' 77 points were scored by guards in this ball game. Gamecock backcourt combining for 68 points, 21 for P.J. Dozier, his 7th 20-point ball game of the year. Dozier scored 5 points in the final minute and 52 seconds to help Carolina to this win. And when the chips were down, Joe, a big 3 from Justin Mackey late in the ball game, and it was Mackey that hit 2 foul shots in the closing seconds to make the margin 4. Georgia got a tip in just before the horn to cut it to 2, but it was not enough for the Bulldogs, who are now 13-10 overall, 4-6 in the league. So, tight contest, Joe. We expect this in conference play. Georgia's a team that's given the Gamecocks problem in the years past, but Carolina sweeps Georgia 2 games in the regular season this year.
Yeah, Coach Starks down there, he's always given us problems. When you got a guard like Frazier, small guard that when we play against those smaller guards, they seem to always give us problems. They break down our defense, and they get inside the paint, kick out the open threes, or drop it down to the big guys. And Frazier had a pretty good game. I think he finished with 18. Another guy, the big guy inside, finished with 18. But the game, like I say, defensively was a struggle, and free throws was a problem. down the stretch, we cannot go and shoot 56% for the game. That is very uncharacteristic of this basketball team. We cannot shoot 56% throughout the remainder of the season and expect to win games. So we got to improve on that. Hopefully we will. We got a lot of points. Like you said, we got a lot of points from the guards, and I'm glad to see that big three step up. Hopefully they can continue, and hopefully we can continue to keep Silver and Kosa out of foul trouble. Those guys are so important to us right now, and we need those guys engaged. We need those guys in tune. We need those guys to, be a part of the team and not be a part of the bench. So once we figure that out and get those guys going, I think we'll be okay.
18 apiece for J.J. Frazier and Yante Maton for Georgia. But the Gamecocks, again, with 21 from P.J. Dozier. P.J. was 7 of 14 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3, 6 of 12 at the foul line. We talked about Gamecocks' poor foul shooting. South Carolina 14 of 25 in this win over Georgia, and that definitely helped Georgia hang around. 3 boards, 3 assists, and 2 steals with no turnovers for P.J. Dozier in 36 minutes of action on Saturday. Dozier led all scorers with 21 points. It was 18 for Sindarius Thornwell. He shot 6 of 17, 4 of 7 from 3, and 7 boards for Thornwell in this matchup. Dwayne Notice had 15 points. He shot 5 of 8, including 4 of 7 from 3 as well. 32 minutes for Dwayne Notice. So those 3 the big players for the Gamecocks again on Saturday. South Carolina got 7 apiece from Justin Mackey, Roffelder, and Mike Kotsar, and it was 2 points for Chris Silva. So 68 points for Gamecock guards on Saturday, Joe, and just 9 from Kotsar and Silva. How much of a concern is that for you? The front court not producing a lot offensively, is that going to be a problem moving forward?
Will it be a problem? I don't think so. Do we need them on the court? Absolutely. Because every night the three is not going to fall. The jump shot's not going to fall for Sindarius and PJ. That concerns me. Especially when you got a lead and you're trying to hold on the lead, your guards are going to get fouled at the end of the games. And for us to hold on to the lead, PJ and Sindarius are going to have to make free throws. But outside of that, those big guys are going to have to step up. Whether guys coming off the bench or Silver and Coach are staying out of foul trouble, they're going to have another tough matchup tomorrow. I think got a pretty good, decent kid inside for Alabama. So it's a learning experience for these guys, but they're going to have to stay out of foul trouble for this USC team to advance. We're in a good position right now. We're in first place in the SEC, and for us to continue, we're going to, do the little things, make free throws, rebound, and keep the big kids out of foul trouble.
All right, Hassani Gravett played 14 minutes, did not score. 10 minutes for Kadeem Gaye, 2 minutes for DeMarcus Blanton, and 2 for Sadie Kaita. None of those players scored, so not a lot offensively from the front court on Saturday, but the guards carried the load in this South Carolina win over Georgia. And this is Gamecock Central Radio. Emerson Phillips with Gamecock great Joe Rhett. We invite you to download the Gamecock Central Radio app. We've got this free phone app that you can get on the App Store and on Google Play. It allows you to listen to our podcast for free anywhere you receive cell phone service. All the podcasts are free, and the phone app is free. So subscribe to our podcast. Search for Gamecock Central Radio. You'll find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and other popular services, or just visit radio.GamecockCentral.com. So, Joe, that sets the stage now for South Carolina and Alabama. Bama having a pretty good year in league play. They're 6-4 in the conference, but they've lost their last 2 games in league play. In fact, Bama this year swept by Auburn, and we saw Carolina blow Auburn out with maybe the Gamecocks' best performance of the year a week or 2 ago. So 6:30 tip tomorrow night, Tuesday night at the Colonial Life Arena. Bama coming in trying to hand the Gamecocks their first home loss in conference play this year.
Yeah, Alabama is a very interesting team. Coached by A.B. Johnson, point guard that's been in the NBA for years, has been coaching in the NBA as well. It was very successful, I think, with the Dallas Mavericks, and didn't do too well with his last stint with the Brooklyn Nets. But now he's in his second year with the Alabama Crimson Tide, and he's over 500 so far, and that's pretty good when you come into a situation like that. Alabama basketball has been down for a while, but this is a well-balanced team. They fight. One thing that he plays almost a pro style where he spreads the floor a lot and try to create a lot of mismatches. And Carolina definitely going to have to get back on the defensive side and being conscious of detail and not being lackadaisical somewhat on defense, because this is a team that, I mean, they can come in here and beat us, even though they're 6-4, which is pretty good so far in the conference. We halfway through the season, halfway through the conference right now, but this is a tough Alabama team that I can possibly come in and beat us. But we handle our business and do what we need to do. I think we shouldn't have no problem. But with up and down, school week, big win, tough win on Saturday. Anything can happen. But we, don't look in the press. Don't worry about us being just ranked 19th. But, I expected us to move up as well, but we didn't. So, as long as we maintain, I think we can run the table, but handle each game one game at a time. Handle tomorrow night, win tomorrow night, and we'll move on to Mississippi State on Saturday.
All right, Bama lost by 5 to Auburn. That was at Alabama most recently, and they lost at Arkansas last week. So they've dropped 2 in a row in the league, but they are 6-4 overall in the SEC, and Bama's head coach is Avery Johnson, who played 16 years in the NBA, led the Dallas Mavericks to their first ever appearance in the NBA Finals with 3 consecutive 50-plus win seasons. And Coach Johnson now in his second year at Alabama. Bama made the NIT last year. So 6:30 tip Tuesday night at the Colonial Life Arena, and then it'll be Mississippi State coming up on Saturday. Tough road game here for the Gamecocks. Mississippi State is 14-8. They're 5-5 in the league. They're coming off a win over Tennessee, and they will play at Auburn at 9 o'clock on Tuesday night. So, Joe, Mississippi State, pretty good ball club, certainly one that could present some problems. Road games, always tough in the league, and a pretty tough week coming up here for Gamecock basketball.
Oh, no doubt it is. Anytime you go on the road, it's very, very tough. You see on Saturday, a Kentucky team, a top 10 team, went into Florida and lost. So we keep emphasizing how tough it is to win road games. I don't care where you go. You can go to Auburn. You can go to Vanderbilt. Those are tough wins. Just being in a different environment, getting away from home, and hoping that your whole crew come to play. And it's very difficult sometimes, especially when you got young guys. But so far, the Gamecocks are handling things so far. So handle tomorrow night. And hopefully on Saturday we can do the same thing as we go to Mississippi State.
All right, the Gamecocks are 9-1 in the league. Florida, Kentucky, just a game back at 8-2. And those 3 teams are the only SEC teams ranked in this week's AP poll. The new poll is out today. Kentucky is 15. Florida jumps over the Gamecocks now up to 16 with that win over Kentucky. And the Gamecocks hold at number 19 in the AP poll. So we're starting to move into the stretch run here, Joe. The Gamecocks at 9-1 in the league, off to a fantastic start. SEC championship is a real possibility, but the bigger picture is that, again, Carolina has not won a game in the tournament in 40-plus years, and everybody's hoping that Carolina is going to finish it out strong and get into the big dance, not only win a game, but maybe get through that first weekend. And, if you get into the second weekend of the tournament, Joe, anything can happen. So, we can look ahead. The players and coaches cannot, but it's an exciting time for Gamecock basketball.
Yeah, no doubt. You and I can look forward to it. Actually, I'm looking forward to the game on the 23rd. I'm quite sure leading up to that game, I'll be built up between going down to Gainesville. We beat that Florida earlier, but going down to Gainesville will be a tough game. But, as far as the NCAA, I think we can get in there and especially get through that first night. Do well in the SEC tournament and get to the NCAA. Hopefully we have like a 5 or 6 seed, which would avoid a lot of good teams. We're a dangerous team. We play defense, and those are teams that tend to make runs in the NCAA tournament. So, like we say, we can take it. We can look forward, but right now, this team needs to look forward to Alabama tomorrow night.
That's right. 6:30 tomorrow night, South Carolina and Alabama, and we'll have an 8 o'clock tip Saturday at Mississippi State. So we'll come back on Friday. We'll talk about the Mississippi State game. We'll have a look back at tomorrow night's Alabama game as well here on Gamecock Central Radio. Joe, great being with you as always, and great talking Gamecock hoops.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Joe Rhett, and I'm Emerson Phillips. We'll have more Gamecock basketball talk here on Gamecock Central Radio. Thanks for joining us.